Hello. How are you guys doing? I was just doing a little banking. I just finished the bills. And Alex went over to his mom's house after work tonight. And so I had a little picnic and watched Family Feud. And then I crashed and took a nap with the dogs and woke up at like 11 when he came home and felt like I had slept for 15 hours and talked to him for a little bit. And then did all of the bills for June. Well, the majority of them. I was sitting here thinking tonight, it's so weird. I mean, this is what I was going to talk about in a second, but I was sitting here thinking about the fact that, like, I graduated June 1st of 1990. I graduated 28 years ago today. That's so weird. And, God, it's just, I don't know, I don't know why it's so strange to me, but it just, 28 years, you know? It doesn't feel, like, honestly, like, first of all, I need summer to really get here so that my allergies stop, because my allergies are driving me crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been 28 years. I don't even know that I would say, like, it's weird because last night in my vlog I was talking about, like, if I didn't know my age, how old would I be? And I'd say, like, 40. Okay, but, like, forgetting all of that, like time-wise, well, I don't know, like, when you consider, like, my mom and the relation, when I start thinking about, like, the stuff that's happened since I've graduated, then it seems like it's been a really long time, but, like, in all honesty, it feels like it's been half that time. Like, I just feel like time goes so fast. It's so weird, you know? And, like, I'm not sad, it's not like I'm sad about it, it's just like, it's just strange. Like, God, it's been 28 years since I was in high school. It seems surreal. And I guess I'll go to my 30 year. I'm going to my 30 year. I went to well, I'll talk about that too. I went to my 10 year and I went to my 20 year reunion. Alex went with me to my 20 year. I didn't go to my 25th reunion because I was asked, I've told this story on here before, but I was asked to judge a pageant that weekend, and it was my birthday weekend, and I was really, really excited about it, and so I ended up going and doing the pageant instead. And I had, like, a couple friends of mine from high school that were really pissed because we had decided to all go together at the last minute, but I was never going to get a chance to judge this kind of pageant again. And so I was like, y'all probably don't know this because I don't talk a lot about it, but I used to judge a lot of pageants back in the day, like all kinds of pageants, like scholarship pageants, and this was a glitz pageant. That's why I really wanted to do it, because they're kind of fading out. People aren't doing them anymore. But I've done like 500 pageants, the fair pageants. I've done like all kinds of pageants. Alex and I used to mock interview Miss Indiana every year before she went to Miss America. That was like something that we were asked to do by the Miss Indiana America Association. I think that's what they're called. Association? I don't know if that's... But anyway, Miss Indiana America, the people that put it together, we used to go and mock interview for them every year. So we didn't do it last year, but like before that, we've done it for like almost every year that we were together. And Alex and I have lots of friends that are pageant queens. And actually, one of our very best friends, Brittany Mason, was who officiated our wedding. And she was Miss Indiana USA. And she was 6th at Miss USA. And she was also Miss World. She was Miss World, I think. And then she worked for Wilhelmina Modeling Agency, and now she is the director of Miss Ireland Universe. And she lives in Ireland with her boyfriend. And she's very cool, and she's a really good person. Like, she's probably given me some of the best advice in my entire life, and she's a very spiritual person. And, but anyway, and one of the reasons why we had her marry us is because, A, she is a spiritual person, that was important to me, and B, because she was one of the first people we met as a couple. Isn't that so funny? And we actually met her, funny story, she was waiting tables at the Cheesecake Factory, and I'll have to tell that story sometime with Alex, because it's really funny. Maybe if she comes, the next time she visits, I'll do a video with her and she can tell the story. It's really funny. Because I'll tell the story. It makes me look not so great, but I'll tell the story. So anyway, it's kind of funny. I love pageants. I love anything to do with pageants. I've watched beauty pageants with my mom ever since I was growing up. My mom and I used to love pageants. We would write down, Miss Illinois, Miss Indiana, Miss Oklahoma, all of them down, and then we would rank them, and then we would pick our top 5s, and top 6s, and all that kind of stuff, top 10s, and I mean, I still to this day, I can pick a top 3 within like the first 10 minutes of a pageant. Typically, I can pick, honestly, I really can, and but I love I don't know why that's something that I'm like, and I love drag pageants too, but honestly, in all reality, I love real pageants even more than I love drag. Drag pageants have talent, which I think is really cool, so that's one of the reasons why I love drag pageants, but like, I love real pageants just because, I think the pageants get a really bad rep, first of all, like most of the girls that I've ever known that have been in pageants are, honest to God, now there's an exception, and I'll tell you, I've known a few exceptions to the rule, quite a few exceptions, but for the majority, they're pretty wholesome, like, and they're girls that have really thought out their futures, and, they really, like, this is what they wanted to do, and they started doing pageants from a very young age, and whatever, and, so, yeah. But anyway, so we are at the Cheesecake Factory, okay? And it is during the year that Brittany is Miss Indiana USA. I have to mail this bill because I thought I had mailed it, and I hadn't mailed it, and it's a month late now. Okay, so anyway, Brittany was Miss Indiana USA. I think she was 2008, which would have been... Okay, so Courtney, our other friend, was the year after her. Okay, Brittany was 2008. She would have given up her... But that means she would have given up in September. Would we have met her then? I think we met Brittany at the end of her reign, so that would have been 2008, yeah, because Courtney, our friend, was 2009. And what was really cool about them was that when Brittany was Miss Indiana USA, Courtney, who was also at our wedding, was Miss Teen Indiana. And then she won Miss Indiana USA, so... I love both USA and America pageants, but they say that Miss America is the girl next door, and Miss USA is the girl you wish lived next door, is how they say it. But anyway, so, it's a little bit more glamorous over on the USA side, but I love the Miss America pageant too, because that's what I watched growing up, was the Miss America pageant, So anyway, so we were at Cheesecake Factory. Now, if you haven't figured it out by my many times I've mentioned in my vlog that Alex and I are at Cheesecake Factory, we go there a lot, okay? It's kind of our go-to place because he always gets like spaghetti or a cheeseburger, and I just always get a grilled cheese sandwich. So honestly, Cheesecake Factory is pretty cheap for us. It really is. It comes to like $22 every time we go or something. So, unless he gets a glass of wine, which is like very rarely, and I don't buy alcohol anyway, so it doesn't really affect me because we always get separate. Anytime Alex gets alcohol at a restaurant, we split the bill. I don't know if you guys, have I ever mentioned that in here? Little unknown fact. Yeah, I don't buy alcohol, so, I have a few times, like at a music festival, bought him a beer or something like that if I'm standing there and he wants a beer. But like if we go to a restaurant and he's drinking, I don't ever pick up the alcohol tab, ever. I don't buy alcohol. So anyway, but we're there, and guy that is like he waits on us sometimes. He's this like friend of ours. He's like this gay guy, and I mean he's a friend of ours because we know him from there, and he's really nice, but he's kind of like very much like that gay waiter in TV shows. He's really funny, right? I mean he's hilarious. And so like Brittany was waiting on us, and she was like the world's worst waitress in the entire world. And she had her hair pulled back in a ponytail, and like if you've ever seen the outfits at Cheesecake Factory, they're just not real glamorous. It's like a white button-down collared shirt and an apron, you know, and so you could just tell she was so over it and she didn't want to be there. And she was real sweet. And Brittany's real small town anyway. She's from Anderson, Indiana, and which is actually, you know, right up the street from us, but it's real small town. So anyway, so Brittany was like, she just like she could not stand her. She could not stand me, and I could totally tell. And I felt so bad for her. And I looked at her, and she came over, and she goes, she was like holding her plates, and she didn't know which one like was supposed to go to which person. And so I was like, okay, I'm this person, this one. And she goes, thank you so much. And I go, you hate your job, don't you? And she goes, can you tell? And so we started talking to her. She was kind of standing there, and then she went away. And Alex is like, she is gorgeous. And I was like, she's okay. He goes, no, she's gorgeous. He's like, she's so naturally beautiful. And I go, she's okay. She's a pretty girl, but you know, whatever. And so then the waiter came over, and he was like, do you guys like this? She was our waitress, but this like funny waiter came over, and he was like, do you guys like your waitress? She's been here like 3 weeks, and she's had a lot of complaints. And I was like, you could tell her heart's not really in the job or something like that. And Alex goes, she's beautiful. And the guy goes, she's Miss Indiana USA. And I go, she's gorgeous. And as soon as they said she was Miss Indiana USA, like immediately like, oh, she's okay too. She's gorgeous. And so then she came over, and I was like, girl, sit down, have a seat. And she sat down, and she goes, I just don't think this job is for me. And I go, you don't? And she goes, no, I'm quitting after you guys leave. And so we exchanged numbers with her. She quit her job at Cheesecake Factory. And we became like really, really good friends. We hung out like that whole next year, and you know, hung out with her family, and she hung out with our families, and you know, like she's just awesome. And so yeah, so when we got married, we wanted somebody that had met us together, like not somebody that knew us like one of us before or whatever. We wanted somebody that knew us together as a couple, and so we picked Brittany. And for me, it was important because Brittany's a very spiritual person, and so yeah, and I don't regret it. It's been cool. And Robin Leach, who did Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, dubbed her Las Vegas's first supermodel. And then it said something about, then somewhere down there was an article written that she was the first supermodel to marry a same-sex couple. There was an article written about that somewhere. But we don't get to see her very often anymore because she's in Ireland. And now now because she works for the Miss Universe pageant system, she is like constantly at like, you know, the Cannes Film Festival and the Oscars, and she gets to do all kinds of really cool stuff. So I'm really happy for her. Her story is very, very interesting. She was actually really bullied hard when she was in high school. And when she was, like, that was her platform, was anti-bullying. And she was bullied because she was tall and thin, which, you know, we don't talk a lot about in our society. And we want to talk about gay people being bullied, and we want to talk about, like, people bullied for being heavier and things like that. You know, but we don't talk about people being bullied for, like, being too thin. And I've actually heard that story from quite a few people. And she was actually kind of ran out of her high school. Later, she had the opportunity to go back and to the high school that she went to and do a whole anti-bullying campaign and everything. She was I remember when she came to town and she was so excited for it. So she's boss. I love her. And then let's see, what was I talking about that? I don't know why I was telling that. But anyway, so yeah, I graduated 28 years ago, June 1st. And I was thinking about it, like, today, because, like, that week leading up to it, like, I so remember it. It's like, I think my exams were like on Monday and like I remember my exams being done really early that week. They were like on a Monday or a Tuesday, and so then like Wednesday, and I think I had like Wednesday maybe class, and then Thursday we were off, and we graduated on Friday evening. And if it's not the 1st of June, I don't know what it was, but it was something, the 1st or the 3rd or the 2nd or whatever that Friday was that week was what I graduated on. So, but it was this week because it was right after Memorial Day, and it feels so weird to me. Like, I totally remember everything about that week. Like, I remember that Thursday night, like, you know, and what was really weird was that, like, I drank a lot in high school. I mean, I partied hard in high school with my friends. Not always, but most of the time I did. And I remember that week, I didn't really drink a whole lot. I didn't, like, not at home by myself. I wasn't smoking weed with my friends. I wasn't, you know, I just didn't do really anything that week. And it was kind of like, really in a weird way, kind of like an innocent week. And, you know, one of the weird things about, like, right before you graduate from high school, I don't know, this was just my experiences, that all of a sudden you see these people that, like, you've shared hallways with and gone to school with for like 12 years, and then all of a sudden it suddenly hits you that, like, as of like tomorrow, you're not gonna see these people ever again like this, like ever again, you know? And the reality is, like, you know, I went to high school at 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So, like the two younger years that I was friends with people in those classes too, like, and I knew a lot of those people. I knew, like, I was never going to see some of those people again because of high school reunions. And, I mean, when I graduated from high school, I was like, I'm not going to no fucking high school reunion. I'm never going to a high school reunion. I mean, that was my attitude. And, you know, it's so weird to me that, like, I don't know, I just remember having that week. And I'll tell you, one of the things that was really weird was this girl that was super popular, but, like, she was kind of like, she was like from this uber wealthy family, like super wealthy family. And she was, I've always been kind of fascinated with this story because I just think it's so interesting. Like, it was so weird how it all went down. And I actually looked her up on Facebook a couple years ago. I just wondered what happened to her. And she's, like, divorced now, and to somebody that we went to high school with, she married, and she doesn't really, like, post any pictures on Facebook and stuff. And I remember she was very sweet. And, but this girl was, like, super popular, and, like, I never really knew her. Like, I would see her in the hall, and she'd always, like, when she saw me, if she walked by, she'd always be like, hey. But she would, like, that was it. Like, I didn't know her. Like, I wasn't in any classes with her. Like, I didn't really know her. And the thing is that my high school, like, was 2 junior highs that came together. And so, like, a lot of the people that came from the other junior high, I never really knew. And she came from the other junior high. Well, like, that Monday, like, 3 of her friends came up to me. Apparently, she had gotten, like, drunk at some party over the weekend and basically professed her love for me and that she had been in love with me for, like, 3 years and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it still baffles my mind how people didn't know I was, like, 100% gay all the time. I mean, they obviously did. They bullied me about it, but I think people just were always like, well, maybe not, you know? But anyway, I had, like, 3 of her really good girlfriends come up to me and, like, and it wasn't a joke. Like, it wasn't a bullying situation because it was very, like, silent. It wasn't, like, there wasn't anything big deal made out of it. They kind of came up to me, like, one when I was in the library. Nobody would have ever known that it happened. I never did or said anything about it. So it wasn't like they were doing it to, like, trick me, or it wasn't like, you know, times before that people had done stuff like that to me to bully me, it was always done, like, in the presence of a lot of people so that there was an audience. It wasn't like this at all. And they were all like, you know, she got really drunk this weekend, was just like us hanging out. She was very upset, and she said she wished she'd gotten to know you and that she thought you were really interesting. But I was kind of, like, in high school a little bit too, like that dark, you know, that dark horse a little bit, like that person that nobody really knew. I was always reading, like, you know, I wore a lot of, like, Smith's concert t-shirts, you know, and big Doc Martens, and, you know, I mean, I was in shape in high school, so, and I always wore, like, you know, tighter jeans, not tight jeans, tighter jeans, and sport coats, and I always was carrying around some kind of, you know, angsty book, like, you know, Catcher in the Rye, or Hemingway, or something like that, Fitzgerald, and, you know, like, I mean, I thought I was the intellectual of the world, but I wasn't cocky or anything, you know, I was really kind of shy of my own shadow, honestly, and, but, you know, I'm sitting here as I'm saying, I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, but you know what, Peter, like, that's who you really were. Like, I really loved the Smiths. Like, I diehard loved the Smiths. And I remember getting, like, I had a couple pairs of Doc Martens, and I remember, like, being, like, so excited to get them. And, you know, like, going thrift store shopping with my girlfriends. I mean, we did that every weekend. And every book that I ever read, I was, like, so into, you know. It wasn't bullshit. Like, that's who I really was. And, I don't know. I do feel like that is a little bit, like, I've gained so much, but I feel like a little bit like I've lost who I was, you know? It's like that line from Both Sides Now. Do you guys know that song? It's one of my all-time favorite songs. Joni Mitchell originally sang it, and then Judy Collins sang it. Old friends say I'm acting strange. They shake their heads and say I've changed. I love that line so much. But something's lost and something's gained in living every day. I knew from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I was like thinking about this before I started vlogging tonight. I was like, I wonder what I would tell myself, you know, if like really like movie kind of, like I got to like see myself at I was 17. I wasn't even 18 when I graduated. I didn't turn 17 till the end of June. I didn't turn 18 till the end of June, you know. I'm like, what would I say to myself? I don't know what I would say, honestly, you know, because like the thing is, I wouldn't tell myself not to drink or use, because I really believe I had to go through all that stuff to be who I am today. I think I would say don't ever doubt yourself, because I really did, you know? It was interesting because I was talking to my publisher, and she was like, I think I talked something about this last night, but she said, you never like, so my payments are all directly deposited, and she said, but like I have to accept them through this email thing. And she said, like, it's a very complicated system, and I don't have my glasses on, so I can't do math. And she said, you didn't collect your earnings for last month. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, what was it, $4? And she was like, no, it was such and such. And I was like, damn. I was like, seriously? And she was like, yeah. And, you know, here it is 4 years later, and I'm still selling shit tons of my books out. So thank you to all of you out there that are buying my book. I hope you're at least enjoying it. And it means a lot to me. But somebody sent me a picture yesterday of my book in Chapter Bookshop, and it was in either Canada or Australia. I can't remember who sent it to me. Oh my God, I was so excited. And I think it's a used bookstore where it was at, but that doesn't matter. I still was like, oh my God, I cannot believe, I can't even see my book in a used bookstore in Indianapolis, Indiana, let alone some other country. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. And then my second thought was, why is somebody selling my book? But anyway, you know, like, I wrote when I was that age, and I wrote some really good shit too, you know, like, I mean, I wrote some really great stories and started some really great books, but I think, like, I told myself inside my head, like, seriously, Peter, what's your plan? You're gonna finish this book, and then what? You're gonna submit it to 20 agencies and 20 publishers, and they're all gonna say no, and it's never gonna happen for you? Psh, why even write the book if that's gonna be the end game? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, That's what I thought. So I had already talked myself out of writing the book before I'd even began it. You know, I would outline it and I would write 20 pages and I would get so excited about it. And then I would have this moment where I was like, this is such a pipe dream. Like, be realistic. This is stupid, okay? Nothing's going to come of this. You're not going to be an author. You're not going to get published. And now we're seeing 16 and 18-year-old kids that are publishing novels that are going viral and stuff. You know, Francesca Zappia that lives in Indianapolis, she published Eliza and Her Monsters. I think she was 18 years old. You know, it's like, and it's fantastic. It's one of the best young adult books I've ever read. And so I don't know. Don't ever discount yourself. You know, don't ever not believe you're good enough for whatever your dream is, going to Hollywood and being an actor, or going to Broadway and being an actor, or, you know, like doing community theater, or being a nurse, or being a doctor, or just whatever it is you want to do. Don't ever discount your dreams, you know, like, I gave up long before I ever even started. And, you know, one of the only issues I have with, like, doing YouTube at my age is that I'm pissed at myself for figuring it out so late how much I love it, you know, because fear kept me from starting it for so long. You know, fear of like, oh, people won't like me, people think I'm old, people think I'm too gay, people think I'm fat, people make fun of me for all this. Who cares? Like, seriously? Listen, people are going to shit talk you no matter if you're doing your dream or if you're not. Chase your dream, let people talk about you, okay? But while they're talking about you, you're chasing your dreams, so fuck them anyway. That is what I have had to learn through this whole process. I'm not going to say I haven't cried a few tears over people saying some really mean shit to me, or sending me death threats, or sending me emails that I thought, what in the world did I ever do to this person to deserve them to say something like this to me? But you know what I realized today? It is not like that. Every YouTuber deals with that. Like, I haven't cried a tear over that kind of stuff in like a long time. Well, at least since last December, but it's been a long time, you know? And it just goes along with the territory, I think, and I just love all of it. I really, really do. And the thing is like, I just wish I had learned it earlier, you know? But I'm also a believer in timing, and I believe that things have to happen at the time they're supposed to happen, and it wasn't the time for me, you know? Apparently. That's okay. My time is now. What's the song to... I'm like bringing out all the oldies tonight. What's the theme song to St. Elmo's Fire? Dun, 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 dun. Do you remember that movie? I wanted to be Jules so bad in that movie. Once in his life, bum, 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 a man knows his strife. Bum, 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 bum. Well, my time is now. See, I can like listen to that song and start crying because I'm like, you know, like I'm finally like doing some shit in my life that I love. Like, I'm so happy about it, you know? It is amazing to finally figure out what you love to do and just feel so blessed that you're able to do it. And if vlogging has taught me anything, it has taught me that there are some crazy ass drivers out on the road that don't need to be out on the road. But anyway, I have fun along the way, don't get me wrong. My God, I loved working in treatment. I loved working in treatment. It was so much fun. I love the people I worked with, you know, for a long time, for most of my career. And I just... You know, somebody asked me today earlier, they said, what did you love about working in treatment? And I said, you know what I loved about it? I said it was different every day, number one. Number two, I really felt like we were doing something. You know, I really felt like we were part of something bigger than us. Like our team, like I felt like we were part of something bigger than what we were doing. And I still believe that. I do believe that. You know, I think we did some good work. And I'm proud of that, you know? And I'm proud of those kids out there that are super successful. And a lot of them watch this vlog and they know who they are, you know? And, think about them sometimes at that age and the shit they were getting themselves into, and the fear that you have, you know, wondering if they're ever gonna make it out alive. And they did, you know, and I think many of them did. And I'm so happy and proud of them, you know, that they're adults today. Now they're like in their 30s. Which is crazy to me. They're like 5-10 years younger than me. All right, this is at 30 minutes, so I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna let the camera cool for a second and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I don't think I'm gonna talk for a whole lot longer. I might make this a little bit of a shorter vlog tonight so people can get caught up on the vlogs of love. I want to listen to a little bit of my audiobook. I'm kind of behind, honestly, and it's like 18 hours long. And I have to listen to it for the book club, and so I want to really like get into it because I'm not very far into it. I'm like an hour into it or something, and so I can really listen to it a lot this weekend. You know, I was thinking about this earlier, like people are always like, oh my God, you get so much done. It's like you post 4 videos a day, you know, you like take naps, you watch TV shows, you write books, and like, how do you get it all done? And you know, like honestly today, I was thinking to myself, like I really don't have that much extra time in my day. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm pretty driven on a daily basis. Like, if I got up, like, the problem is that I waste time. You know, like, I'll go into my office to write, and if I'm there for 2 or 3 hours, like, the reality is, I spend, like, probably 45 minutes just, like, looking on my phone, you know, cleaning stuff up, you know what I mean? Like, just, I waste time. And if I would, like, whenever I get up early in the day, I always get so much stuff done, but I love staying up late at night. So I'm like, okay, what do I do, you know? But I love getting up early in the morning because I get so much stuff done. It's like by noon, I've got like everything that I need to get done, and then I can just enjoy the rest of the day. But then what ends up happening a lot of times is I go get a coffee, I take Tanya a coffee at work, we sit around and talk, then I come home and then I'm tired, so I take a nap, and then before I know it, it's time for Alex to come home, and then it's like I haven't read, I haven't done any of the things that I really wanted to do because I had like a free day, right? And the reality is, I used to read a lot, like my reading has really slowed down, and I think that it's because I need to like, maybe this is what I'll start as of June 1st, like I will schedule, I'm gonna start really scheduling my days out and sticking to it, you know? I'm also coming up with a schedule for you now, for my live streams, but I think that I'm going to start it July 1st because we're going on vacation, and I don't want to start it and then not follow my schedule while we're on vacation. So, yeah. But I was thinking about it today. I was like, I do get a lot of stuff done, but I don't really have a lot of extra free time to just kind of enjoy myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, I kind of miss that sometimes. But I don't know that I really took advantage of it before. Like, that's the other thing, you know? I mean, there's a lot of time that I spend just driving around talking to the phone, getting coffee, you know, getting fountain cokes, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I enjoy that stuff, so I'm gonna do it. But at the same time, it's like, my time would be so much better. I don't know. I like, you know, there's a fine line for me between being driven and being too driven, if that makes sense. And, you know, I think you gotta rest and take care of yourself too. And I'm like right now kind of battling, figuring that out for myself, like how to do that, like how to just enjoy it, you know? And one of the things that I've been doing recently that's been kind of nice is that I've been like pre-filming videos. Like one day I'll make like all of my videos for the next day, so that the next day I don't really have to make any videos, or I'll just have to make like one video. The problem with that is that, you know, like my friends who pre-film videos, they will like, and I don't have to make a video every day, but I love to make videos every day, you know, like that's the difference. And But my friends that pre-film videos, they make one video on one channel. I make 4 videos on 4. The vlog I don't really count because this is like this is kind of like a labor of love. I mean, I love doing this so much, and really it doesn't. I mean, I just drive around in a car and talk, so it's not like it's super deep, you know. But like, you know, if I film videos for the next day, that's 6 videos I have to do in one day to have the next day off from filming videos. And then I'm almost kind of, and the last time that I did it, I got up the next day and I was like, well, I want to make videos today. So I ended up making videos that day. So it's stupid that I did it anyway. Because I really do. I love making videos. I like, every day, I just, you know, every time I sit down, I feel like very, I don't know, there's a connectiveness to you guys out there that I love by making the videos, and sometimes I don't feel like I'm that connected unless I'm making the videos. I don't know if that makes sense, you know? I think to some, it's probably a little bit like getting on stage, you know, for like Janis Joplin a little bit. It's like, you really just want to like vibe with the people that like are watching you, you know? And it's like, for me, the way for me to do that is by making videos, and I love doing it, and I love with coming up with new ideas. I mean, today I had like 4 ideas of what I was gonna make, and you know, I really was going over it with in my head of like, should I make this video? Should I make that video? What should I do? Like, you know, and I was thinking about like my Peterisms video, and I wanted to do something funny on that channel today because I'm always so serious over there, and I thought, well, make it a little bit funnier today, you know, and then I had a different video I was going to do for my Peter Likes Books video, and then like the Page Habit box just showed up at my door, so I was like, well, I might as well make that today since it decided to show up finally. It's my May box, and it's the last day of May, so but you know what I mean, like, I don't know, to feel connected, I feel like I like to make videos, and that's what I do, and I enjoy doing it. So now I almost kind of am like, I don't stress myself out about it, about making video, like, unless I'm gonna go on vacation, like, and then I start like, you know, making, and I usually don't like do like drama videos ahead of time. I usually just film, and then I vlog while I'm on vacation. So I usually just film, what do you call it? Peterisms and Peter Likes Books videos in advance. And that's not that hard, you know, like, really the hardest thing about that is coming up with what I want to talk about. Which is probably what I need to do this week, because I need to get started before we go on vacation for what that's going to look like. You know, it's like you get handed, like, this is the thing, you get handed, like, something that you absolutely love to do, and people actually want to watch it, and I mean, you know, it would be like, for me, for like writing, it would be like, if I knew that whatever I wrote would be a bestseller, and then I just was like, I'm not gonna write, you better bet your ass I'd be putting something out, you know? I mean, it's not a bestseller, but people are, I mean, like, my channel's not a bestseller, but people like, you guys like to watch my videos, you enjoy it, right? And so I enjoy that you enjoy watching my videos. I enjoy that you enjoy watching my videos. And so I love making videos because of that, you know, like, that's so cool to me that I have this opportunity that somebody wants to actually watch what I'm talking about, you know, and listen to me, and I think that's just so awesome. And so, like, why wouldn't I make videos? You know what I mean? I don't know. I get so tired of hearing these YouTubers complain. And you know what, for me, it's like, I don't know. I see so many smaller YouTubers, and especially like on BookTube and stuff, where they're like they're recreating movie scenes and putting so much time and effort into their videos. And like, you know, like the most popular girls in high school, like each episode, I can't even imagine what it takes to put those episodes together, you know, that all those Barbie dolls talking and walking and stuff. And then you have somebody that like sits on the floor on the edge of their bed and it's like talks for like 10 minutes and 1 second so they can monetize it, and they complain that they're like, it's so hard to make videos anymore, and YouTube's screwing me, and you know, my videos are demonetized. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, first of all, you're not putting any effort into, and I'm not saying that it's like I do, because I listen, I get on there, I'll tell you what, I know where my talent is. It's telling a damn story, okay? And being funny or sharing some wisdom. I know that based on experiences and fuck-ups in my own life. But these people that used to do other stuff, they want to get on there and they want to make a 10-minute and 1-second video that's about absolutely nonsense and then complain about YouTube because they're so used to making millions off of YouTube, but they don't want to work for it. It's like, I don't know. In the real world, it's like, that shit just wouldn't fly, you know? Like, if you went into your supervisor's office and said, okay, like, now I know I'm making $200,000 a year, but, like, I don't really want to do anything anymore, and I'm just going to sit here and, I mean, they would look at you like you were crazy, you know? Why do you expect that you're going to continue to make the same amount of money? You're not putting any creativity in, you're not putting any effort into what you're doing whatsoever, and then you want to complain about it on top of it? Like, are you mad? Like, seriously? Like, do you have any kind of perception of what the world is like? I don't know. It just cracks my shit up. Pulitzer Prize winning author Toni Morrison. This is the kind of shit that keeps me driven, okay? Worked all day long, came home, fed her kids, did homework with her kids, put her kids to bed after bathing them, and then stayed up and wrote. And that is how she published her first novel. And she did that with her second and her third novel too. You know, when you're really driven to do something that you love, you do it. Like, you stay up for 20 hours and you force yourself to put it out and do it because you love doing it. It's about the passion that you feel inside of doing that, you know? And I really think the reality is a lot of these YouTubers don't have the passion to do it anymore, but they don't want to admit it to themselves, and they don't want to stop making the money that they were making. Because the money on YouTube, no matter what people tell you on Apocalypse or not, I mean, as of today, June 1st, the money's pretty damn good on YouTube. So, you know, like, and I can't even imagine what the money is like for these people that have, you know, million plus subscribers that are getting 2, 3, 4 to 10 million views a month. I mean, they must be making literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I'm not even lying to you guys. I know people are like, oh, that's not the case, blah, 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 whatever. I'm telling you, the money is good on YouTube. It's not as bad as people think it is. And, I'm kind of a little bit, like, I sometimes wonder, like, if you guys are complaining about the fact that you're not making any money now, like, what were you making before? Like, you know what I mean? Like, were you making 80s money or something like that? You know, are we talking, like, of the millions, like, right, for just posting bullshit? Because, like, the money is, I mean, they must be still making incredible money, you know, for doing I mean, I go to some of these people's channels and I'm like, they post a video like every 3 or 4 weeks. Y'all know, I talk about it in my drama videos. They post a video like every 3 or 4 weeks, and then they're getting still 1.5 million to 2 million views a month, or 3 million views a month. And I'm like, if you equate, that's like $20,000, $30,000 a month they're making, okay? Seriously. And I'm thinking to myself, you're basically making, you know, $200,000 a year for doing absolutely nothing except for posting a video a month. Like, seriously? And you want to complain about your job? Wait till you have to go get a real job. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, I can't stand watching YouTubers that complain about money. I cannot stand it. Flaunt your shit all day long. Show me your Porsches. Show me your Lamborghinis. Show me your Birkin purses. You know, I can watch some of that, and I can even get down with it and think it's kind of fun. I do. Like, I love a good luxury haul. Don't get me wrong, okay? Now, I don't need that stuff, but I think it's fun to watch. I like that stuff, you know? We all do on some level. Let's just be for real. I'd rather have that than have a YouTuber complaining about their money problems. God, unless they're real money problems like medical issues or whatever. You know, I remember a couple years ago, God, it's probably 5 or 6 years ago now, when Will and RJ at Shep 689, their dog got sick and needed an operation, and they couldn't afford it, right? And so they started like a GoFundMe account, and there was like this whole, like, all these videos were driven around about their dog, and it was so genuine and transparent and sincere that, like, you never questioned it. It wasn't like one of these Patreons, you know what I mean? Like, it was so transparent and sincere. And they raised some money for their dogs, and I thought it was fantastic. That to me isn't the same as like, or somebody needing, money for, I don't know, cancer treatments or something. It's not the same to me as people saying, well, I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. Like, I'm not motivated to make videos the way that I used to. And I used to post videos daily, but now I only post once a month. And the one video that I do post is demonetized. And I'm not making any money on YouTube. So I guess I'm going to have to start a sex site. They always do that. Like, they always want to post some nudes up on sex sites. And no, I'm not talking about Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas makes fine enough money. I know. She's doing just fine, trust me. She just likes to show herself nude. God love her. At least she owns it. I swear to God, all these Instagram models, all these like male Instagram models now, they all have these sex sites where they show themselves nude all day long. I'm like, thank God I don't even have a body, because then I might even have to consider it, Who'd want to see all this? But, I'm too much. It's interesting to me what will sell short for $1, isn't it? And I don't pass judgment on anybody, but I don't know, like, there's a lot of things I would never do for the almighty buck. I just wouldn't. I sure as shit would get on YouTube and beg before I started a sex site, I can tell you that. But, I don't know. It's interesting. And then everybody says YouTube's going down the tubes. I don't believe that. I just think YouTube's changing, And it's probably like they're probably sitting there going, let's just get rid of all these people that are complaining about it. Maybe they'll just leave. I get so tired of people complaining, Be part of the solution or be part of the problem. Decide and then move on. I choose to be part of the solution in anything in my life, Do y'all, like, do you guys, is it dry? I mean, I've been a complainer in my life before, don't get me wrong, for many years, but it's not appealing to me today. I don't love when people complain, or, just are constant complainers. What do you guys think? Does it drive you crazy? It drives me crazy. I wish I was talking about high school. What happened? High school. I can tell you that the day I graduated from high school, if you had said, Peter, in 28 years when you're 45 years old, this is what you're going to be driving around in a car, filming yourself, being a vlogger on YouTube. First of all, I would have had no clue what YouTube was. I was thinking about this today. When I was in high school, we didn't even have texting. Can you imagine we lived at a time where there was no cell phones and texting? I just can't even believe that to this day. I really can't. I don't know how I lived without texting, Hell, don't nobody want to talk anymore on the phone. They just want to text. But if you had said to me, this is what I was going to be doing for 28 years down the road, I would have said, like, you're full of shit. I don't believe it. Maybe tomorrow, since it's my graduation day, I think. I know I graduated on a Friday, so it's tomorrow, whatever that was, the 3rd or the 1st, or whatever that year it was. I'll look it up. But maybe I'll talk about, like, what I would tell myself looking back on my life. That'll be fun. I'll really think it through before I get up here tomorrow and start doing that video. So you'll have to come back tomorrow and watch. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. I said I wasn't going to talk for very long, and now I've almost talked for 50 minutes. So I love you guys. I hope you're having the beginning of a wonderful weekend. Thank God it's Friday. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.